Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well as we can be, given the times, and you and your families are safe and healthy and doing the best that we can given the circumstances. A couple of you have reached out to me through text messaging, instant messaging, whatever, and some of us have been struggling more than others, and there seems to be kind of a common theme on the issues at hand. So I'd like to take some time today and give you guys some tips and maybe some ideas on how to minimize the damage during this kind of crazy time, right? And I think the big thing is our mindset, right? So it's not as optimal as it could be, right? You guys are missing the gym, missing workouts, missing access to a variety of equipment. But now we're going on week 3 or whatever, and maybe the first week or so was a shock. Maybe some of us didn't think that this was going to last as long as it has. And now's the time to kind of to get our shit together and really put our effort into what we have access to and really do the best that we can. Minimizing damage is not a bad game plan, right? So for some of you that are really struggling, do the best that you can and just be honest with yourself, all right? So things have really changed in the last couple weeks, and your responsibilities may have drastically changed for those of you that aren't working and maybe are now thrust into the role of being a teacher or educator. But the one responsibility that hasn't changed is the duty to yourself, to take care of yourself, to your responsibility to be healthy, right? So that makes you a better person, a better spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, parent, guardian, whatever the case may be, right? So that hasn't changed. With that being said, one of the biggest things I can tell you is make sure that you structure and or schedule your workouts. I know for myself, if you were to take a look at my work schedule, I have my workouts literally written on my daily planner on the days and the times that my workout is to take place. I don't take one-on-one clients during that time. It'd be pretty hypocritical of me to expect my clients and our members to set aside time for them, and then anytime something came up, they bailed on their workout, right? Now, if there's an emergency, obviously take care of that. But the big thing is, let's schedule our workouts. Set aside time for you to take care of yourself, right? In a perfect world, this would be in an area separate from everything going on, okay? So weather's been decent the last couple days, last week or so. So if you can get outside, if you can go to the basement, your back porch, end of your street, whatever the case may be. So a separate area away from everybody. Okay. I know it's hard to focus with maybe your kids, your spouse. If your kids are playing Mario Kart or whatever the case may be, a couple of them are lounging on the couch or the recliner, it might be hard to kind of get in the zone and get yourself amped up for it. So maybe you take another scoop or two of pre-workout, another cup of coffee, but go somewhere else, right? Also, some of you might have separate gym and home lives, right? And by that I mean, some of the girls in here are pretty badass, right? So they look small and tiny and timid and whatever, and then you put a barbell on their back or put them in the leg press, or they're benching or squatting, deadlifting, whatever the case may be. It's a whole nother world, right? And your kids or your family may not be ever been exposed to that, right? So you may feel uncomfortable kind of getting into that zone and letting that alter ego come through, right? Do what you got to do. This is a time that, for a lot of us, this is our outlet, right? So this makes us a better partner in everything, a better employee, whatever the case may be. So trust in yourself and just be yourself. Crank the music, all right? And this will help if you can go to a separate area and that you're not going to be distracting everybody, right? So music goes up, headphones on, if need be, etc. So we want to kind of get into our zone, all right? This next one is something that I would not have thought of. I stole this from my coach, Ryan Doris, so I'm gonna give him credit and props for some of these here. But don't rest on the couch or the recliner. So no couch, right? It's just something that I would not have thought of, like I said, but if you're doing whatever, split squats, and then after every set of split squats, you plop down on the couch or the recliner, you try to get a game of Mario Kart in, mentally it kind of takes away from everything. Your rest is probably too long, and it just really makes it more challenging than it already is working out at home to get yourself amped up to do your next set, right? Also, if other people are kind of relaxing around you, it also makes it hard to kind of get amped up. So that's why a separate area will be very helpful. So get away from everything as best as you can, minimize the distractions. Put your phone on airplane mode. This is a big one. That way, no text messages are coming in, you're not checking Instagram, messaging, updates, whatever the case may be. You have your job is your workout. Get it in versus mindless scrolling, planning out your grocery shopping, whatever the case may be. Try to be focused on the task at hand. I know it's harder to do, especially at home, especially with other people, whatever the case may be going on in your life, but really try to dedicate that time. Realistically, 30, 45 minutes, you should be able to kind of smoke yourself at home and have a productive workout, all right? With that being said, with the productive workout, don't do endless reps. I think people fall in the trap that more is better. That's not necessarily the case. Better is better, and for especially time at home where you might not have access to a lot of equipment, try to make the reps that you are doing more challenging. So you slow down the tempo on these, right? So maybe a goblet squat, you normally take a second down and a second up. Let's try a 3 or 4 second descent. Maybe you try a second or two pause at the bottom. Maybe you then come up slowly, or maybe you do 1.5 reps. So you come all the way down, only halfway up, all the way down again, and then all the way up. So this is a good time to really focus on the mind-muscle connection, really feel the muscle group or groups that you're working, and kind of clean up your form on these exercises. So don't do endless reps like sets of 30, 40, 50. Let's try to make the exercise as hard as possible, as challenging as possible, in that 8 to 15, maybe upwards of 20 reps, but really try to just increase the degree of difficulty versus just the number of repetitions that you're doing, okay? So reps, we'll say 8 to 15, maybe 20, increase the degree of difficulty, okay? And we can do that by our tempo, slowing things down. We can also do 1.5 reps of whatever exercise, okay? So just take your time on them, work on those, all right? I think we have to focus on who knows how long this is going to be, all right? But whatever the case is we're one day closer to this being over and being able to kind of resume our normal day-to-day life, whatever that is, and just take it in stride. Know that you're doing the best that you can, and take advantage of this time. There's probably not going to be another time period like this in our life where we kind of get a pause and a reset button, and use this to your advantage. Some of us have a little bit more free time right now than what we have had maybe in forever, okay? So use that to your advantage. Do the best that you can, and try to come out of this with minimal damage, collateral damage. And some of you, I know some of my clients are still making some progress in losing weight, so kudos to them. It can be done. Just do the best that you can, and if you guys need anything, please let us know, and we'll be happy to help.